Good morning to all of you. We are sending out a Power of Next welcome as we bomaqtalk the Universal Language of Management series. Thank you for sharing your President's Day with us. I am Tanisha Bocali, Managing Partner of Urbanetectonics, LLC, and I'm your humble host for these bomaqtalk 2018 sessions. We are like the pink Energizer Bunny. We're still going, and today, we are taking a gander at the first book in the series, The Universal Language of Project Management. We will be discussing why a book like this had to be written, the significance of the content, and the process of self-publishing. I'll be sharing all the details of my experience with you and walking you through the buy the book, take the class, join the discussion initiative. So listen up. You can join this discussion with your comments and questions by using hashtag TULOPM on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and/or LinkedIn. We will have comments open on the podcast on our multimedia page, and the video chat will be open at our video conference room all day today. The link to the video conference room is on our website at www.urbanetech2.com. That's urbanetech2.com. So there are a couple of ways you can connect. If you are out there with questions, we will answer the ones we find. Get connected. We continue to invite owners, managers, and administrators to take our 10 Core Challenge, which tests their knowledge of management systems in all 10 key areas in our service offering. You can take the challenge by going to our webpage at www.urbanetech2.com. Scroll to the link that says Take the 10 Core Challenge. Click on the link and the challenge will open. Share your results with us. The second book in the Universal Language of Management series, which is called The Universal Language of Core Systems Management, will expound on the 10 core assessments and service. So it should be another good book packed with useful resources for you. So look for that coming up next. This is all brought to you based on our commitment to build a database of media that educates potential clients, owners, managers, and administrators on efficient and effective management systems and tools. Client interest made it apparent that future clients, owners, managers, and administrators could benefit from having a support group, open discussion, and resources dedicated to pre-planning and implementing quality management solutions. Your Power of Next management consultant would like to thank our sponsor, Urbanetectonics, LLC, fitting the bill for the event, activity, in person, and division financially. Wishing Urbanetectonics, LLC a happy Texas anniversary and praying for a prosperous year ahead. We are actively taking on new clients, so don't be shy. Refer a fellow owner, manager, or administrator to our website, and we'll take it from there. We're going to pause for a few messages, and when we come back, we will talk about our self-publishing experience. If you're thinking of self-publishing, you should really get something out of this. So stay tuned. bomaqtalk 2018. We are BOMAC talking the Universal Language of Management series, and particularly the Universal Language of Project Management. We're talking about it. We want you to talk about it too. Use hashtag TULOPM on social media, comment on the podcast video, or chat with us in our video conference room. When we started our local workshops, who knew 3 years ago that the Universal Language of Project Management would be a book available on Lulu, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble? Wow, it is still unbelievable. The intent was always to educate. An avid reader, I never had the idea to write a book. Over the years, I've BOMAC talked with plenty of authors, so I grew into a comfort level, I suppose, with the idea of composing our thoughts formally in a book. The aha moment when the idea that the Universal Language of Project Management should be a book happened while composing industry-specific photo albums on Facebook. I was trying to explain how to do this and how to do that. I was using these photo albums on Facebook to convey the information. I began to grab and upload pieces of my BOMAC Talk PowerPoint presentations from the workshops when I realized I could use a training tool. It would make these explanations so much easier. From that moment, I began to research how to self-publish a book. I reached out to my colleagues who had written a book to get their feedback and opinion. From the moment I decided to compose the book in September of 2017, it took all of 5 months to pull it together. I would not consider the process to be easy by any means. I can only name a couple of other project-related tasks I find more tedious than formatting a book. I agree, these tasks are important and very much a part of the work we do, but I would happily farm these tasks to support staff if I could. Besides book formatting, data entry, construction takeoffs, video editing, and finally CAD drafting. These 5 tasks are important and very much a part of the work we do. And we know we have to allot time slots of uninterrupted work moments to give these tasks their proper due. Writing was the easiest part. I could write all day. Hint, hint, thus the 4 books, titles for the series I've already created. I love creating the cover of the book and the Photoshop, the images inside the book and publisher, and all the rest of the graphics in PowerPoint. It became tedious when I began to edit the text of the book. I had some help reviewing my writing, the grammar, the spelling, and the format. Each reviewer had their list of changes, and they were all good. I used lightweight spelling and grammar checkers in Word, Publisher, and PowerPoint. However, I found the real jewel in using Grammarly and then Ginger, using one, then the other. They found things we all had overlooked. Now, if you read our book and you find something, send it to us. I mean, buy my book, highlight it, and then send it to us. We won't be offended. We may even give you a credit in the next edition if we find it's significant enough. Yes, this book has been raked over more times than I care to count. Once the editing was complete, it took less than a day to get the book uploaded for print with the self-publisher. The major part of getting an accepted script was the necessity to embed the fonts. I reluctantly learned how to do that, and we were successfully on our way. I've read over this book so many times that I was exhausted of the script by the time we got to the voiceover review of the videos for the corresponding class. Mind you, we're doing this simultaneously, the book and the class. And so we were asked to redo all the lectures because the audio was low in quality, which really took everything. We had to kind of get them done. We were asked to write out everything we said in the video. It was so much more explanation in the voiceover that we included this text in the book, which increased the book's short of 50 pages to almost a 100-page book. You will appreciate this information if you decide to meet the challenge of taking the first class. We spent a lot of time video editing and revising the video edits, and honestly, they still could use some professional edits. We would love to, given the opportunity and reason to, add more content to our class. A lot of our competitors have many more hours of lectures than we do, and so that's our competitive stage that we have entered on with our classes. But we need your feedback. So ask questions and look for updates. The class platform is super cool and it's real easy to use. I'm looking forward to adding more classes and more information, and I hope you'll take interest and register for this first class. The learning curve on both the self-publishing the book and self-publishing the class at the same time was challenging, but I have never been happier than the moment I received approval and the links from both of these resources to share with you. It was a really big accomplishment for us. We really worked hard to get this to you, and we have already begun to dissect our process to see where we can make it better for the next book. We have embraced self-publishing, so look for nothing but greater things from here. We're going to pause for a few messages, and when we come back, we will talk about buy the book, take the class, join the discussion. We're so excited about this initiative, and we want you to get excited about it too. This is huge. You don't want to miss this, so stay tuned. bomaqtalk 2018, Urbanetectonics commemorates our third year with our Buy the Book, Take the Class, Join the Discussion initiative. This initiative showcases 3 years of research and development into non-traditional industry service to owners, managers, and administrators who have management problems and have a need for viable solutions. The work is presented practically in these educational resources where anyone with a desire to learn more about management consulting can buy the book, take the class, and join the podcast discussion. Each resource offers relative information specific to industry trends, is additive building onto each other, and complements the service and products of the firm. We really wanted to get back to the place where we felt confident that we could do business anywhere in the nation. We made a good start in architecture, engineering, construction, multimedia, and education industries in Georgia, then moved into oil and gas, hospitality, technology, and facility industries in Oklahoma. And now our new entry into business brokerage, manufacturing, and healthcare here in Texas has combined together, positioned our firm competitively with a value proposition that is unmatched in the region. These 12 industries give our organization sustaining power over the long haul, overlapping markets that are known to fluctuate unexpectedly. About this book series, the books listed in the Universal Language of Management series are as follows. First, the Universal Language of Project Management. Secondly, the Universal Language of Core Systems Management. Thirdly, the Universal Language of Asset Life Cycle Management. And fourthly, the Universal Language of Nonverbal Communication Management. A little about the book. The first book in the series, The Universal Language of Project Management, will launch today February 19, 2018. To purchase your book or to order books for your group, go to www.urbanetectonec2.com. Click the education link and scroll to click Buy Now. This book is a great user-friendly tool for all generations, clientele, and team dynamics, providing project management concepts with easy-to-remember terminology and relatable application exercises. It provides an outline for the reader of the current growth and the future potential of management consulting using the foundational principles of project management. The text will also assist in project role definitions, client care, service, and product output. About the class, the corresponding class, the Universal Language of Project Management, is now available and offers 30 minutes of on-demand video, 5 supplemental resources, full lifetime access, access on mobile and TV, applicable assignments, and a certificate of completion. It's a beginner's class. It's not super hard. Don't get intimidated about the content. You can ask questions in the privacy of your home and finish the class at your own pace. Take the class and give us your constructive feedback so we can improve the class for future students. To register for the Power of Next class, go to www.urbanetectonec2.com, click the education link, and scroll to upcoming events to click register in the white box. About the podcast. It all started 3 years ago, right here with bomaqtalk, the Universal Language of Project Management, which featured podcast interviews with subject matter experts in multimedia, facilities, hospitality, construction, and more. It presented challenging questions on PowerPoint and openly discussed industry concerns and trends and solutions. We changed the schedule and format last year, but the Universal Language of Project Management just refused to go away quietly. Thus, you're listening to the bomaqtalk session for the Universal Language of Project Management book launch this President's Day on February 19th, 2018. You can go to www.urbanetectonec2.com, click multimedia, scroll to the featured video. Comments will be open. The video chat room from our website will also be open all day today. Utilize those links to join the discussion. Buy the book, take the class, join the discussion. That's the tour of the current initiative. With this book series, we get to do what we love the most, and that is to pour into others, giving them useful pieces of information that enable them to do great things. We'll be promoting this initiative all year and for years to come. Your Power of Next Management Consulting will not be going away anytime soon, so brace yourself for the long haul. About the author. I am the author of the Universal Language of Project Management. My name is Tanisha Folkali, and I had folks saying, you haven't talked about yourself. You haven't talked about your background and some things about yourself. I have been transparent mostly about my background, my experience on LinkedIn, on Twitter. There's lots of places where you can kind of read things on my education, on my experience, and some of my backgrounds, and even some of my views. I'm going to try to answer some questions here that I haven't addressed before, or that you haven't heard somewhere else before. So let's just get into some of those questions. First question, how many hours do you work a day on average? I get up around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Not every day, but most days I'm up early, 4 or 5 a.m. I grew up in a household where my mom got up really early, and if our chores weren't done the previous evening, she would get us up as well for before school to get them done. And so I'm used to working early within the day. My typical average day is 12 hours, maybe about 12 hours, depending on what the projects are. If I'm working longer hours, I may have a short day. The next day, I may work only 4 or 5 hours or something like that if I need to rest. But typically, 12-hour days. What are your hobbies? What do you do in your non-work time? In my non-work time, I am like a little kid. I'm playing Scrabble, and I play Scrabble like solitaire, where I just have to use up all the letters. I play volleyball. I play volleyball in the house. And I roller skate. Even though we have, ceramic tile floor, so I roller skate around the house, listening to music. Other things that I do, my spare time, I play chess. I play billiards or pool, as to say. This morning, I blew bubbles. I was blowing bubbles. We had some bubbles left over for when my nieces and nephews were here a couple of summers back, and I found them cleaning on yesterday. So this morning, I blew bubbles. So, yeah, so my non-work time, I try to keep it light. I watch lots of comedy, um, action movies, things of that sort, things that help me relax. What do you feel is the major difference between entrepreneurs and those who work for someone else? There is a difference, and there's always an argument as to you can be entrepreneurial working for someone else. You can be entrepreneurial working for someone else. I do believe that the first bomaqtalk that we did was building ownership in your human capital. It was in a co-working office out of New Braunfels, and this was some of the premise of that workshop, or that bomaqtalk, was that you can, by way of the culture of the business and the company and those leading the company, you can, even when someone works for you, by holding them accountable, giving them some responsibility, giving them the ability to advance and train and educate. Those are some of the ways that you can help them to feel like they are an owner. They begin to, when you give them an assignment and make them accountable for their part in the business, and reward them for them, recognize it, give it that importance, then they start to take pride in their job, and they're picking up the paper off of the floor. Not you, but they're also taking part in keeping the facility clean, keeping the projects organized, delegating that responsibility in a way that they want to do the work, and they do the work with joy. And so there's a process to kind of being intentional as an owner, a manager, or administrator, to do that, so that you are building ownership, an ownership culture. So then if you, when it is time to promote and you're looking for partners, you have folks that you can promote from within who have established themselves, have established some rapport with you, some trust with you, and you kind of understand how they work already. Entrepreneurs are responsible for getting the work, overseeing the work, funding the work, and, producing the work. Whereas when you work for someone, you just show up and you're responsible for just producing the work. Or if you're a manager, overseeing the work. There's, um, of those roles, you may be responsible for a couple things. And you expect a paycheck, you expect certain items and benefits for you showing up. And so it's a different thought process. As an entrepreneur, you're thinking about providing for others on a larger scale. You're providing jobs. You need to provide supplies and provide tools. In some cases, you have to provide a facility and provide a working structure, how, procedures, process, how work gets done. And so you're constantly leading and directing and guiding, where when you work with someone else, you can come up and just do your job and do your job well. And I'm leaving at 5. I did my job. Clock in, my 8 hours. If you have work, then I'll work my 8 hours. If you don't have work, if you don't have work, I'm going to still work my 8 hours and go home and get paid, whether you have achieved your goal of getting clients or work or not. And so there is a difference, just in terms of responsibility and accountability. And so as owners and managers, administrators, that's where they sometimes get burnt out, because they have all that responsibility and they have not delegated some of that to the folks that work for them by giving them a piece, I guess, a piece of the pie, not so much in equity or ownership, but just, even a job description. That job description, that's yours. This is yours, and hold them accountable for doing their job and doing it well. And if it's a team effort, hold them accountable for being a part of a team and delegating some of those tasks so that they don't experience fatigue and burnout at times when they should be thriving at their best. So yeah, this is a major difference, and we talk about that a lot. How do you generate new ideas? I am a createaholic, so I always have lots of ideas. And so I have several notebooks that I utilize to write down my ideas, and then if I find something to build upon that, or if it's something that I need to do next week or next within the quarter or something like that, I'll just start writing those items out. I always do market research, kind of see what's out there that I could build upon, whatever idea that I'm having. Because sometimes I'll have lots of times, even folks that I mentor come in, they think they have a new idea, and I'm like, do some market research. That's not really a new idea. Somebody else across the town, across the nation, out of the country have already thought of something like that. And so there's always, something that you can build upon. So market research, I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of research. I do looking out in the marketplace, work play. I do a lot of playing around, and I come up with things that way as well. Just kind of, just by way of play, I come across some of my ideas as well. How do you define success? I define success being comfortable. We never went into business or to be an entrepreneur to get rich. We were never in it just strictly for, money, a monetary gain, material gain. We went into entrepreneurship because we saw a need in the industry that we could fill, and it freed us up um, to be able to fill that need and to be able to provide opportunities for our family and for others. Being able to create a platform, an infrastructure that invites others to join our journey has been the most satisfying thing about entrepreneurship. We definitely want to make money, want to make profit. Those are part of our goals, is to be a profitable, viable, and a sustainable business. We will feel like we successfully done that, when we're able to pay ourselves and pay those who work for us, and we're able to even extend and offer jobs um, to others, and invite others or whatever to join into the vision. We come from a team-oriented industry, and so we're very much about building a team, establishing a team, and having a working, team that's sort of like a family. So I think I define success in that way. Just you have great relationships, we're doing great work, and creating great opportunities for ourselves and for others, and lots of other things come with that. And doing all that doesn't compromise our faith. We are a person of faith, and so of course, all that being in line with my faith in God is really how I define, whether I'm successful or not. If it's out of line with my values, the principles, and the things that I believe, I know definitely that's not it. So, with all that said, there has to be that kind of sifting filter, and through my faith, that I kind of monitor our positions, that how we position ourselves. What have been some of your failures, and what have you learned from them? Well, yeah, every year we find something that we can improve on. There's some things that we did well. We are showing some progress in some areas, and then some areas that we have dropped the ball. We failed to create a client relationship management system. We had been managing change, for so long, and concentrating on getting new clients, establishing new relationships, that we kind of failed to foster and create a path, a continuum for our past relationships and our past clients. And so we established a new client relationship management system this year, and we just were amazed as to how long we have kind of let this go, and how much we need to catch up on it. And so I think that that was um, a big failure, in the sense that we constantly talk to our clients about this, and we have been so focused on the new clients that we have not even um, took care to maintain um, the relationships of our past clients. Now we, often would send promotions and send gifts to those immediate new clients, for the previous year. But we're talking 5 years back, 8 years back, people 12 years back might even get contacted by us now, just because it's been that long since we haven't kept in touch. And we learned from that, in that, wow, even with all that um, we do, and some of the systems that we have in place, that somehow that went without, that went without detection. And so now we're very mindful and very intent about our client relationship management. Where did your organization's funding capital come from, and how did you go about getting it? We bootstrapped our business, and most of the funding and capital came from the partners investing in the business, um, clients paying deposits, retainers, or mobilization fees. We do not have any debt service, create proposals or contracts that we know we can complete, that we can complete with a profit. Each one of the services are phased in a way that a client signs off for the next phase, and that phase is in congruence with the payment schedule. Another awesome thing is that we keep operations lean. My operations is very lean, just very minimal. We don't get caught up in, I often, you'll have, different ones recommending, oh, you should buy this, or you should do this, you should get in this office, you should buy these furniture, you should have this image, and all that is based upon what they see and, impressions. But as an entrepreneur, you have to be confident in your service and realistic with your bottom line to know how and when you need to grow. Don't Lots of folks have gone into business with the high overhead and out of business within a year, or they get stuck with bills and have to go back to work, pause their entrepreneurial journey and then go back to work. Why businesses fail. And yes, funding and capital is one of them, but it's not so much of a lack of funding and capital, but the money that they do get is misappropriated, is not used well, and more times than not, they just have too much overhead. What has been your most satisfying moment in business? My most satisfying moment in business is when we provided service or a product to someone and they respond positively, that has improved, that has solved their problem, that has improved, that they were kind of happy with that we've been able to help someone. Even in mentoring, I've had folks say, man, my meetings with you, when I'm meeting with you, when I'm talking with you, I look forward to that meeting, or, it is the highlight of my week. Or I've even had someone break down in tears, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I don't know to hug them or what to do. It's like, what to do, because I have got my business business, acumen on, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel like they need a hug. And so my satisfying moment is in why I continue to teach, I continue to mentor, I continue to put out different pieces of resources of information, is because of the that satisfying moment where that person that you're pouring into gets it. They get it. They not only get it, but they evolve with it. They make it their own, and they come back with such excitement and this awesome report about how the interaction with you has changed their situation. And that's like the most awesome thing. It's just like, cool, that's what I'm doing this for. Great, it's working. Great, I was able to help. Awesome. You were able to benefit from that solution. That's a very satisfying moment. Where do you see yourself in your business 10 years? 10 years from now, we want to see this business thriving and being profitable. We want to see, the divisions being sustainable, with delegated leadership within those divisions. And so from here, it's just a matter of strengthening that infrastructure and kind of building on what we have. We think we have a strong foundation, and established a strong foundation thus far. And so now we're just going to be building. And I think 10 years down the road, the way that this company is going to evolve is just going to be really amazing, and great opportunities for us as well as for others. If you haven't already, follow Urbanetectonics on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and follow our social media pages in your industry for specific industry-related updates. We're going to pause for a few messages. When we come back, we will talk about what's next with your Power of Next management consultant. Stay tuned. So what's next? During Small Business Week, we plan to roll out another book, another class, and another podcast. That's the plan, guys. We did the first set in 5 months. Let's see if we can compose this next in less than 4 months. We have been circulating the book cover for the second book already on social media just to get some of the feedback. It is super important to get these resources published because it helps us train and inform our parallel work, project, and management teams. We can turn to a page or video and start a discussion on expectation, process, and responsibilities. We talk often about creating systems that help us as owners, managers, and administrators extend or clone ourselves so that we can do more, delegate more, and grow our organizations. This tool is our extension, our clone, and our delegating resource. We are thrilled that we have empowered ourselves through these resources to be able to invite others to share our vision and to join us on our journey. If you didn't know, Urbanetectonics LLC is an umbrella for management consulting service in our vertically integrated divisions. We serve owners, managers, and administrators with a custom package of viable management solutions specific to their express management problems. For more information about Urbanetectonics LLC and its divisions, or if you would like more information about scheduling a book reading for your group or venue, please make contact at our website, www.urbanetek2.com. Thank you for lending your ear to us for this 2018 session of bomaqtalk on the Universal Language of Project Management, the book. That's right, we're talking about it and we want you to talk about it too. After 3 years, a book has evolved. If you have bought the book, taken the class, or even took the time to listen to this podcast, we surely appreciate your support. Send someone else the link to this podcast and help us grow our listeners. Go to our website. That's right, www.urbanetek2.com. Click multimedia to listen to this podcast and to connect with other resources for owners, managers, and administrators.